Officers meeting of June 27, 2024. We do not have a quorum, but we will proceed with business as we must continue to function. We have minutes. Everybody look at the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
I did have one question.
Yes.
So the bylaws specify that for the executive board, I have to record each individual's vote. For the officers committee, they don't say that, so I didn't do that. Is
Yeah,
there a
that's fine. I was gonna
preference?
say,
Okay.
we don't need, we have a sheet
Mhm.
with what the individual vote out. So when you write your minutes, you don't have to put down how each individual does, because that's why we have the backup paperwork. So all you need, it passed 7-2, 7-1, whatever. It doesn't really need to be that. You wanna try to keep the minutes as concise as possible. And if it gets too wordy and everybody halfway through, they'll stop reading. Their attention span disappears.
I understand.
What was done, not what was said.
Right, exactly.
With those voting sheets, I always just included them with everything and they become part of the record.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we have a separate sheet, so that we have paper, because maybe whoever's taking the minutes might make a mistake, but the actual sheets are attached. And we have them for our permanent record,
Okay.
in case anybody questions, you know. Okay, are there any corrections to the minutes as presented? Hearing none.
Correction to Dominic's name, that's important. He spells it D-O-M-E-N.
Okay. DOMENIC.
D-O-M-E-N-I-C.
Okay.
I asked her once because everybody was spelling it, yes.
So hearing none, we'll accept the minutes as presented. I will hold off on my report, we'll do a treasurer's report.
Okay, we, after interviewing numerous firms, I don't even wanna go into how many, but we have attempted to, cause Sebastian, who was our accountant, is unable to help us out. I thought he was gonna be able to come back and work with us again, and he's not able to do that. And we went to several other firms who were just not able to take us on. But Judah and Eskew, who used to be our auditor, has agreed to come back as our accountant firm, which is wonderful because Mike, what's his last name, starts with a K.
Mark Husky.
Husky.
Mark Husky.
Mike
Mark,
Mark Husky, okay. He used to be the, sort of the on the ground guy that was doing all this stuff. So he would be the person that we would have come in. And they have sent us an engagement request or
A letter?
trouble with this, yeah, with the proposal.
okay.
And since we don't have a quorum, there's no point in us voting on anything. However, I don't think it really requires a vote, it's under 25, specifically says under $2,500. So I'm just one would inform the officer that this is a decision I would like us all to come to.
Do we need to run this through Rod?
It's contract, so yes.
Okay.
So it is who I'm recommending we use.
Okay,
So I'm gonna go ahead and proceed along those lines of,
if Rod says it's okay, and, it looks pretty,
it's very simple, and he kept it very good.
Ron has a better handle, very likely than we do on what's very for now, we bring it, he will find it,
Right.
which is good.
Sure. So I'll get that out, and I don't know that I can have him at the July meeting, I would, maybe if Rod says yes, quick, and we sign it, real quick, we can see if we can make it for the July meeting. I'm more concerned than definitely the FDR's meeting, because we're gonna start really getting into budget information at that meeting. And going over our current, I really want him to show where the budget's been, what the current expenses have, and, what his recommendations are for whatever he kind of unearths as he sort of digs it.
But I'm reading this real quick, so we're being charged $250 an hour regardless of what he does. Cause that's, this says everything, every and all, not covered, income tax service, 1099, monthly
Right,
financials,
no matter what.
so. Okay,
Yeah,
so the
that's what I'm reading.
2,500 is for just the
No,
preparation.
Yeah.
The budget.
Right.
Okay.
So. Anyway, that's that subject. The other subject is I really am pleased that Donald has made great headway and my last number was right around $7,000 of over 90, which we were at 129,000 when I took over. So
So what are
thank
we
you,
talking
Donald.
about?
Accounts receivable,
Okay.
over 90.
Well, I just have one question. How is our budget for this? Is it within the budget of what we had for this year or is it gonna be over budget? Do we have to add it to the
I
budget?
believe we've got, I'll double check, but I believe that there's more than enough to accommodate
Okay,
this year.
I'm just saying, if we don't, we gotta make sure it's in the budget.
Oh, yeah, no, well, we've got professional services budgeted.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
But yeah. But yeah, accounts receivable is, we've got a few that need work, but I think we've unearthed. Seacrest has been very cooperative,
You wiped out
we're getting
90% of the,
Yeah, it was bookkeeping. A lot of it was just their bookkeeping, our bookkeeping, the association's bookkeeping. It's just, no one was paying attention to it. No one was talking to the.
Chris has about 300, Esther has 50, and the rest are sub-managers.
Couple.
Or on-board managers that we don't know.
So, but we're getting to know, this is the way to do it. It's not that we're in trouble or that we're dunning or anything. We're just communicating with those people that are showing
They're
a
not-
balance and saying, listen, it's not an accusatory thing. It's just, no one's really paid attention for years. Let's just get on the same page so your books and my books agree. And everybody seems very pleasant about it, not an issue at all. And I'm real happy that we've been doing that. Because to me, that's very important, that you don't let that thing get out, because then it gets ugly. And then you have lawyers and then I just, why, so I'm real happy with that. And
We're happy that you're at.
thank you, we're trying to do our best. We do have scheduled the 2 budget town hall meetings for July 17th and August 21st. I'll be putting up, some posters on social media, or not social media, our association media. And I'll get the August one in the paper and, post everything, so get some people. Now that we've
Are you
got-
planning any time with the officers to sit down while you're formulating the budget to give you input for your budget?
Well, after, I would say. Well, right before the July 17th one. We'll sit down and see what we've got so far, and that way. What we're bringing to the table for the 17th to propose. But that's it for me.
Ms. Ruth, you're next.
Is it?
David has questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Joanne, on your reconciliation, are you going to put that in the delegate assembly packet?
The reconciliation.
Aging list.
Associations.
The accounts receivable.
Oh, it's part of the financial. Yeah,
Are you gonna list the names of the association?
yep, it always does.
I think that's a bad idea.
Well, it's outstanding, we do it all the time. I don't.
I understand we do it, I still think that's a bad idea. You come to a board meeting and you're on the board. And there's an association, somebody that's behind, you're not allowed to let everybody know about that, it's only the board. it's allowed to discuss that with everybody.
And then we can-
Delegate.
It's the same thing. We're letting everybody know that information. It's not just not board members that get that information.
I think it's been helpful because we've had people that didn't know.
Didn't know.
There were
That I-
presidents
that I
that,
I'm
understand.
not disclosing anything untoward, or we're not saying, oh, there's legal action being taken, or there's a problem, or. It's just simply the accounts receivable, it's part of your financial statements.
Yeah, I'm saying that information gets out to more people than just our board of directors.
And I don't see the problem with that, I just don't.
Unit owners pay their assessments,
Right.
and if their assessments are not going towards paying the UCO assessments.
Right.
I would say as a unit owner, I wanna know that.
right,
Yeah, I would, I'd be
I
asking my
take your
person.
point about calumny, the holding people up to embarrassment, but this is not.
That's what I think it is.
it's a report.
It's a financial.
Yeah, we
The
do.
report can be given with just
There's no
30, 60,
derogatory,
90, 120.
there's absolutely no derogatory information.
Alright, how about this as a compromise?
No, that's my point
Yeah.
of view.
No, so there's always a middle way. Yes, you do owe the board of directors a strict accounting of the funds. Maybe that can be sent directly to the delegates or to the boards via the chair. And then leave it out of the package where there are renters in there, they're looking at it.
And I know, I've heard a couple of officers come up and say, I didn't know my building
yeah,
hasn't paid, that delegate assembly, you know.
Ultimately, it's your decision.
Yeah.
I would wanna know, I'm not one of them of Festus.
If I was a unit
Well,
owner,
see, that's exactly my point. You're not one of them, I'm not one of them.
But I would wanna know
Yeah.
if I am.
and I did have a situation in my own association where my previous treasurer put up the delinquents on the bulletin board.
What?
The individual.
I ran down like, man, you gotta take it down, that was bad.
Yeah,
That's
so that's,
something else.
that's different, that's personal,
This
there's
is,
nothing
these are
personal about
companies.
an accounts receivable. Listen, it's just company to company.
Yeah, so my 2 cents is if we're not violating the law, I think it's a good idea, I understand your concern, but. So Seacrest does this for me. And I would wanna know and see that published, even though I'm an officer, because. It may not be being done, and I don't know that any other way.
Yeah,
When I,
What you think? That when you get your treasurer or the president gets their monthly financials, they should say, well, you're in arrears to UCO.
I don't know if they say that.
Dana,
You would certainly think so.
let me tell you, Patricia and I went to a Coventry annual meeting. The treasurer said, I've been treasurer for 9 years, I do not get a financial report because I don't have a computer.
Yeah, that's the right.
So how do you get the information if a person, unless you see it in writing? I mean,
right, and our businesses get paid, that's.
I mean, to me,
and it's just company to company, it's not like I'm saying, John
Exactly.
Doe at Suffolk G unit such and such. Didn't pay his bill to his association, I'm not, that's personal, and that is calumny.
Cause it's probably a
But
property
this is a
manager.
business to business.
Yeah,
I mean,
some of, well, a lot of this was Seacrest being behind in their paperwork.
and
Plus
it-
Seacrest is always 1 or 2 months in
And there
arrears
was
anyway.
movement on both, as we got through this,
Well,
there
it's
was
okay.
movement on both
On
ends.
both sides, we had, people are
These were two
human.
accounting departments, figuring, straightening themselves out.
I just think that publishing it and talking about it, association to association has been beneficial. I mean, we've collected over $100,000 in the last 90 days.
Alright, that's what my thinking is as a unit owner, now I'm gonna think about it as a delegate and a president. We pay our bills on time, if the next door building is not, what am I doing wrong? They get cable, they get water, they get,
Yeah, why should I pay?
yeah,
We're not letting people get away with that.
Right.
I mean, we're,
Yeah, but if somebody sees like a building that's out 160 days, they say, well, they're not, B building is not paying and I'm in A and I'm paying, well, I'll hold off paying.
and we did have a few instances where a board is writing their own checks rather than having Seacrest or
Right,
Crest to write them.
right.
And they just didn't write it because they didn't want to,
Right.
nobody bothered. And we, got
Yeah.
There's still a few of them out there.
And the other issue becomes if you have self-managed buildings where there's nobody that's accountable, if you don't put it out there,
Yeah,
nobody would know,
yeah,
you know? And it, to me, it's a selling point. Listen, if you had a management company that oversaw your checks, this might not happen. The fact that you got Mr. Green Jeans
Oh, we.
that goes away on vacation for 5 months
Say that.
and he hasn't made a payment in 6 months,
Yeah.
you know,
well, we had one, I forget which one it was, where they switched from self-managed to Seacrest or.
that was
And
Windsor.
there was another one where a management.
And they
They
didn't
went
know
from
until
one
they
to
saw the
another.
report.
I think that was Windsor somewhere, that was, I don't know, I think it was Windsor.
That's why I say.
There was a Camden Association.
I had a credit balance, this is going back a year or more.
Yes, the credit
And I
balance.
never have known if I didn't see
Right.
it on, it was a credit to the building,
Right.
why? Because we changed from Seacrest to Pruitt, and this money
Same
was
thing.
not turned back, and we got a check for it.
So what I propose is, it sounds like this is beneficial, and if it becomes something where people use this in a way we don't intend, then we revisit this.
Yeah.
And put it in an
Might
interest
say,
tax.
well,
Has anyone
Point
complained
taken.
that their name was put up
The
there?
only complaint was my building, why does my building pay, I remember the lady standing up in the back saying, my bill, I pay my bills, everybody pays, how come my building? And she's the same one that asked Ed Grossman, what happens to that money, remember?
Yeah,
But she was saying, I don't remember what building,
This-
she's
this-
all the way
this-
in the back.
This putting out the associations that are in arrears really only started 40 years ago in a few months. It was
Yeah.
Mr. Grossman that did it. And I don't remember anyone saying, how dare you put my name
No.
up, but you know, I don't know if anybody else.
I think it's worked positively, not negatively.
Alright.
But I agree with what you said, let's keep it up, if it creates an issue, we'll revisit it, nothing is set in stone. All right,
Anyway, that's it for me for my treasurer's report.
All right.
That was some report.
and
And
this-
all of it had to do with money.
Well,
Yeah,
amazing,
Yeah,
for the treasurer to only talk about money. Holy cow.
it was 20 minutes. All right, next. You, Miss Ruth.
okay, I got a lot to say today because I've been very upset. For the first time since I've been editor, which is going on to 5 years, I have never had to pull ads out of the paper for non-payment. This was the first time pulled 4 ads. But it goes further than that, and that's one thing, that would have been okay, but I had been emailing Chris, I can't tell you how many times. What's the aging report as of now? I'm about to go to print, I have to know. No answer, no answer. So I had 4 accounts, I just pulled them. Today, he answers me and says, of the 4, I told him who they were, these 2 paid last week. Well, why didn't you tell me before I went to print? These 2 did not get in the paper. So the best we could do, he emailed them with an apology. I don't know how they're gonna take it, but that should never have happened.
Maybe we can offer him a free ad next month as
Yes.
we're sorry.
That's all, that's silly.
It was- Evidently, there was a credit card issue.
No,
is that different?
Well, that was one part of it. Their first credit cards didn't go through. 2 are still behind, 2 months and they're out.
Crossed hockey sticks,
What?
are those 2 crossed hockey sticks?
No, they're golf clubs.
Sorry, I couldn't solve it.
He played golf, not hockey. What was I gonna say? It wasn't a lawn either. Oh, no, Chris blamed it on this new system he's using.
QuickBooks Online.
Oh, yeah, there's been a little bit of
The
the.
quick, but still,
Your treasurer report, your balance.
yeah, okay, all right. That's really, paper went out yesterday, it's in print now. It'll be delivered tomorrow and you'll have it on the weekend and you'll get it whenever you get it. And somebody called you already, I can't get
Online.
it's not out yet.
Good.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, Donald, I guess you're up. Managers report.
Alright, guys, the subject of the week, or the month, is these demolitions that we keep getting called to look at. Some cases unpermitted and some cases permitted but unauthorized by the board. First one, I wholly agree, we need to really correct down on this, I hope you all agree as well. We've got a few things going, a letter went out to the building department director. I think that's going to end with a meeting. And we have some suggestions where the county can help us with tightening up on this, because it really is becoming a problem. We're seeing, sometimes we're seeing permits, but no written permission from the board. And even if the board did give written permission, in most cases, they don't even have the authority to do that, they're supposed to have a membership vote. So we're trying to educate the boards to, you know, they really have to check with their managers and their attorneys before they approve anything. We're seeing out of scope permanent work, we're seeing insurance that is just wrong, expired, no workers' comp exempt. I kind of don't expect the board members to know what they're looking at when they're looking at a certain insurance. No, that's what their property managers for, that's what their attorneys for. And I don't think the boards realize how much liability that they're putting their associations into when they allow this, so it's a little bit of an education thing. Yes, sometimes we have low buried walls being and disasters, people have to live in hotels, post shore and all that other nonsense, it's not often, but it happens. So it's the subject of my article, in the paper this month, and it's not a popular thing to have to bring up.
Pictures were good.
What we're finding is that I had two irate general contractors in my office this morning, you know. Who the hell are you? You know, the guy that can say whether you cut your gates or not. Well, if they don't ask for the insurance, then that's fine, except that then we won't let you through your gates, you know, and we're hoping that we'll be able to. Why don't we wait till Fausto comes back, he seems to be having some issues, you know, a lot. About something else.
He put it up on his phone yesterday.
Come on, Faust,
Hold on.
Come on, Faust.
kick him out the door.
No, I can't, no, this, it was very serious. I will explain once we're off the
How
air.
did they get in?
Alright, so that's it for demos. Update on your LED message signs, the notice of commencement and applications for permits were signed today, they're going over to the vendor this afternoon. And but I will be on vacation next week,
Oh, next week.
be home on Thursday in time for the delegate assembly, which I would miss the world,
When are you leaving?
Saturday night.
Saturday.
So that's it, kind of all I got.
Okay, have a good job.
You went over the paving proposal and the drainage
Okay,
proposal.
no.
Not what's a new business, but we can go into right into
Well,
that.
since
We can't vote on
that's,
We're
we
not
can't
gonna vote on it,
right,
but alright, let's do it. You have in front of you a proposal for routine repairs on the roads. The price was $11,681, the square footage price was in line. This proposal was reviewed and unanimously accepted by the bids infrastructure committee. And at that meeting, a quorum of the officers also voted, so I'm comfortable bringing this directly to post office signature and get this on the road.
I was just gonna say, this is.
Yeah.
Cause I know that's a lot of these bids change by the month, the price goes up.
And there's a couple of jobs that need to get done. So I think I don't think we're skipping enough important step there. The other thing I was preparing to bring to you today was the drainage abatement plan over at Century Boulevard. You have in front of you the grading plan that you paid for last year. A little hard to see on this map, but it's essentially a combination of grading the grass swales, adding some new cuts to the curb and some piping, underground piping. What I asked for from the infrastructure committee was to give me permission to move forward with an RFP. And I got that unanimously, including the officers, so I'm just gonna go ahead with that. Just there's nothing to sign, I'm just gonna say move forward and bring us an RFP, the scope of work. And also maybe a recommendation on it. You know, one from him, one for us, one from maybe Dan.
Okay.
All right, there's some pictures here just to give you an idea of what we're trying to fix here. So obviously the need is there, so that's all I got about this, and geez, anything else? I'm done.
David, Boaz, you got anything under officers?
No.
Okay. All right, Kelly?
The only kind of question I have is, we learned at the insurance meeting, the importance of having hurricane deductibles and reserves. Is that something that we plan to get out to the broader group somehow, or?
Well, had to be very careful on how you word that, because what was said at the meeting is not real life. The statement that was made that unless you have your deductible reserved, your insurance is not going to cover you. That's not the way it works. You have a deductible that you must meet in order for your insurance to cover the other side. And that's what put everybody into a panic. The way it was presented, oh my God, if I don't have $500,000, I'm not covered by insurance. That's not the way it works.
The reality is, if the insurance company's job is to make you whole,
Right.
minus the deductible.
Right.
Whatever the deductible is.
Right.
If you don't have it in reserves, then you could special assess. If you can't special assess, you go for one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's more management style, and I said, I know that there was quite a few people in here that misunderstood, and when the next day, we had an insurance meeting, and when I spoke to Suzanne, I think she understood what I was trying to say. You said it, but you said it in a way to scare the hell out of everybody.
Well, we do that sometimes.
You know, and well, sometimes our minds work faster than our mouths, you know,
I'm the worst offender.
so.
No, my real concern is, so that helps explain that. But doing that, it sounds like can be very problematic after a storm. So if they don't have it in reserves and they have to take out a loan or do a special assessment.
Kelly, if I was managing any of the larger
Mhm.
associations here in Century Village, I'm not talking about you and me, I'm talking about Dover, say.
Yeah.
I think I would advise them to go for a line of credit year to year,
Yeah.
just so you know you can get cash when you need it. You know,
Okay.
banks can get blown down, you can't even get to a bank.
Exactly. Okay, I'm good, thank you.
Alright. I know that you all heard of House Bill 121 and 1021, I'm sorry, and 3.0. 3.0, when I read it today, allows DBPR to get involved with the association's bylaws, which they've not been able to do in the past, which might be a good thing to handle some of the issues that we have with complaints against officers, with complaints of work being done in the building, and officers not abiding by the bylaws. I got a phone call an hour ago. There's a building, somebody needs a rental extension, and none of the officers live in the building. And they haven't made any provisions, nobody wants to come in and help out, and what are we gonna do about fixing it? We can't fix it, it's up to you to fix it. Yes,
I got an email from Richard yesterday asking me if I want an article on this. I said, right now, I don't want anything.
No.
It's changing all the time. I said, ask Fausto if he has anything that he wants.
I personally wouldn't put anything,
That's.
no Richard interpretation.
Yeah.
If we get something from a government entity, okay, other than saying that House Bill 1021 has been passed,
That's all.
okay, I wouldn't, an explanation, yes.
So I agree with you, and I would like to know, is it all gonna be passed or has it been passed?
It's been signed.
It's
Been signed?
Yep,
Yes,
goes into
it's signed.
effect.
Okay, so that means the governor's approved and
Yes,
it's gonna be open.
it was signed,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
No,
I
just
get
a bullet.
bulletins now,
You
I
signed
signed up for, if you go on the state
Oh,
senate,
okay.
you can get bulletins whenever anything happens for any specific bills that you want. It's good, I mean,
Cool.
it's.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I'm going to include it in my presentations to bring this up to the officers. That they should be staying aware and stay up on top of these, because these things are changing by the day. There was also another thing that when I read it, according to what I read, it said that it requires 4 hours a year of classroom. To each officer.
I wrote my article about this,
Okay.
wasn't that what I wrote about?
I don't remember.
I think it
Okay.
is, that it, the actual bill itself is what I just copied and pasted. And
Okay,
it's you, when you first get elected,
right,
you take a 4 hour class in
Right.
person.
right,
Yeah.
And then every year that you retain, that you're still on the
You have
board,
to
you
go
Right.
have to go for 2 hour
right.
brush up.
That's what we heard,
Yeah.
because Kelly was at the same class. But when I just read, what I just read, said just the opposite, it says it requires a yearly 4 hour, 4 hour
Well-
yearly update.
Whatever it was, I took it right out of the bill,
I-
it was.
So either that's wrong, I mean, we heard the same thing,
Yeah.
which we thought it was a great thing, at least to bring the officers in,
Yeah,
you know, and it might change some of
but
the
I think
attitudes.
regardless, there's no online anymore.
No,
There's no, just, put your computer on and go do
And
the
I believe
dishes.
there's no more signing the affidavit.
No,
That's-
No, that's no affidavit.
I read and understood
Right.
signing
Yeah,
my own documents.
Yeah.
yeah, that was eliminated first, that was the first thing to go.
Is my certificate any good that I took online that I have now?
You'll be,
It's supposed to be
you're
good
gonna,
as
you're
long
going
as
to
I.
be subject to the 2 hours
Oh.
continuing education.
Yeah.
So what we might need to do is besides the people going for the regular class that just became officers,
Mm,
we might have to talk to people that do the presentations to offer that 2 hour update on a
With
regular
that
basis.
GDPR, I mean, they should be coming every month and at least every couple of months.
Yeah, I didn't get in a lot of luck with them the next time I asked for them.
Well,
Yeah.
So
they're,
then I-
they're the ones passing these laws,
Well, I'm just saying that we should be on top of it to make sure that if this is the law, then we need somebody to come in here, whether it's
Absolutely.
Friedman or Eric or somebody that comes in, that's qualified to give these courses. Listen, I know,
They're gonna wanna get paid.
mm.
Mark does it a couple times a year for free because he
Well,
gets
he's-
business out of it.
right,
But
exactly.
I would
But
not
this
blame
is,
him.
but yeah, this is the government forcing you to do it. It's
That's
worth,
why the
worth
government
somebody's
should be
time.
here doing it.
Again, I'm just saying that we should be on top of it, it's up to you. I can bring you to the trough, but I can't force you to
Yeah,
drink
we
the
have
water.
to, we have to coordinate those
Yeah.
classes, have to.
Right, and if we have to reach out, that might be something that I'll. As I'm working with the North Canal, and if I can get a politician in here, say, listen, you're pushing all these laws, we need help in here.
Hmm.
We have all these associations, we need kind of help.
And every time one of these new requirements comes up, there's always people that say, not gonna make $1 from this,
Well,
and they'll be in to see us.
I'm sure.
Well, the thing to do is to dig into the actual bill, because if you go online and you look through, you can see who brought the different provisions in and who made motions and all. You can find out who those authors are, and you start barraging them, you're the one that did on this date. Now, you passed it, great, what are you gonna do for us now?
And I'm not unhappy about these.
No,
No, but they're not gonna have, we shouldn't have to be spending a lot of money. I mean, to get people to follow the rules.
again, the fact that we're almost a city, that gives us, we have our own
That's
zip
right.
code,
That's right.
so.
So, bring it on.
So there was there's a funny story about zip codes. Shirley from Shirley, Long Island, wanted to name the town of Shirley because it was Mastic and Mastic Beach. For 5 years, he tried to become the town of Shirley. Spent thousands of dollars. Guess how he became the town of Shirley? He sent himself a letter. Once the post office delivered to Shirley at that address, he said the federal government just recognized me as the town of Shirley. Cost him the price of a postage stamp, 5-cent stamp.
Listen, my Christmas and birthday checks used to come from here and the return addresses, Grandma used to write Century Village, Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
Um,
resignation.
That's it. I just say, I wanna say thank you to the officers that do come to the third Friday of the month. I think it's being well received. We ran out of chairs, so I do appreciate, good. I'm going to ask that they put up at least 75 chairs.
Hang it from the rafters.
I appreciate Donald taking care of, and Patricia that got up and put chairs out there. And I appreciate everybody that attended. I think it shows that we're on the right track.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate you recording it and putting it up there online. Yeah, it was, having that thing recorded and the incident that transpired made it very simple that what he claimed did not happen. So I know that it's a pain to bring the chip and get it out there, but it served the
Oh,
purpose.
no, it's just, it's become a habit now,
Yeah.
I just.
Second bite at the apple, let's
Yeah.
see, but
Also, you just got an email from the director of building zoning and planning
Mhm.
zoning building. They wanna meet with us at their office on the 15th. That's a Monday at 9:45 AM. So we're gonna have to do maybe staff at the next day.
okay.
Right.
Okay, you got it. Monday. 15th.
Things are cooking.
Great.
Well,
I got a few eyeballs here.
yes, sir.
They're trying to get in touch with George Patel. His phone doesn't work and can't get through to the office, so I'm assuming he has either moved or passed.
Okay.
And I haven't kept in touch with him like I used to.
Yeah, well, I know he did a lot.
Yeah.
When he was around, he was on a lot of committees, he did a lot of work.
I want to go to the letters we're sending to the North Canal,
Yes,
and I think we should not send one next week. Because it's the holiday,
absolutely.
and it's gonna be, I'm sure that the ones we sent this week, that's just on the boat planned on the same day or the day between, so. I think that, sorry.
If you wanna skip a week, I don't have a problem with that. But the reason why I suggested once a week, because the first time that they get a letter, somebody's gonna take it and put it on a stack.
Yeah.
The second time, they're gonna get a letter, and then when they get the third and the fourth letter, it's like, "Hey, these people are not giving up. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna see this letter and they're gonna have to talk to us.
Would be the squeaky wheel.
Gotta stay on top of it. But I agree with you.
The last thing is that. I did a lot of studying. About, I forget the name of the group that we're. Going to engage for. Storm. Custom.
Yeah, custom, yes.
Custom US.
Custom, yes.
And there's another one that's going around the village.
Synergy, not synergy,
No.
victory.
Victory, yeah.
And
Velocity.
Velocity.
where I live as an independent, so I'm not connected with either of them right now. But I have really been impressed with what Custom offers to this, and I think it's a superior company. I think maybe we should, when we have that insurance, to make sure that everybody's aware that this service is available to them.
Well, I think, what's the name,
Yeah, but we have to communicate, because she's not.
No, no, Susan mentioned them and
Yeah,
she talked about it at the insurance.
But we have to mention that,
well, again, we have an issue. Everybody's independent and they're allowed to do what they wanna do.
absolutely.
But there are things that are going on in the village that should not be going on in the village.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
and-
not saying that, but I'm just saying, you know,
Just,
but I'm looking for my own building because I don't know if we necessarily have one. You know what I'm saying, and we brought this up that I'm still a little leery about the fact that, we sort of think that because you don't buy the UCO insurance, that you have to pay a different price for it. I'm not quite sure if that's a true thing to do, but it's certainly a selling point involved in that.
well,
Let them take an ad in the paper and people will know.
There you go, there you go. Very good idea.
the issue becomes that it's your agent's responsibility
Yeah.
to bring you someone in case of an emergency. And if your agent is not doing that,
I understand that,
you know,
I understand that, I'm just. When UCO signed the contract, which we did,
right,
we have to, we represent the whole village. So I'm just a little shady on that, but that's a different issue, but. I would, when I researched this custom. I thought the Balfour was a great company.
yeah,
But I think this company has it even much better than what Balfour did,
I'm just waiting.
just my opinion.
Phil, I think it's Phil. Somebody's supposed to be getting me some video to post.
okay.
Oh, is that right? That would be good.
Yeah, I'll have to follow up on that next week, because I'm supposed to be getting a lot of stuff about hurricane season, I'm not getting anything.
Yeah.
I put my own little thing up together, because I got Phil, his own presentation, that's posted, and it runs, I think, twice a day. But I don't have any UCO stuff, cause I talked to John Hess, and he says talk to David Furness, who says he's, it's like.
And he's on
I'm not
vacation,
doing it.
Yes,
No, I'd be happy to post whatever
where they give you,
is presented, but I'm not gonna be producing any content. I've only got 24 hours every day. So,
and 8 days a week, right?
yeah, I gotta rest one.
Anything else, David?
No, that's everything.
Okay.
My side.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I would like to see, I think they have some professional videos that hopefully they'll be able to send
Yeah, they
us.
did mention it, the
Yeah.
videos are available.
Yeah, I wanna get some stuff on, but, I wanna make sure that we position it correctly.
Yeah, and
you know.
to make it known that UCO is not making any money off of this. So we're not an agent, this is something that we do for the community.
Right.
In the last 10 years, we've had 3 companies in here. Balfour, then there was one before that, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was never, there was never a charge.
No.
It was, to take care of what associations were covered under our umbrella. I mean, at the time, I think we only had 165 or 170.
We're not getting paid for it,
No,
we're not
no.
getting a closure fee or
Right.
door fee,
Right.
here it is. So I think that has to be hammered out to, even to the delegates, saying, this is what's being done.
Well, I couldn't
Like I
say
said,
anything.
I'm not in the program.
For the month of June, and we couldn't say anything, Donald and I couldn't say anything,
Yeah.
cause we hadn't figured out the thing on the contract yet.
Yeah.
It hadn't been signed. There was a little wordage in there that we had to try to figure out, and I understood the way it was written, it made us responsible, the association could say, yeah, fix my building, and then say, okay, now we're not gonna pay it.
Right.
So that needed to be straightened out,
Absolutely.
so,
And, we received a legal guidance today from our attorney, or our firm's attorney. Basically said, any firm that promotes not just insurance, but insurance related services, including Velocity. Was required to have a insurance license, CAM license. So there are other, but promoting it does require licensure. And we are seeing evidence that certain people in the village are promoting insurance related services, it's something we need to follow up on.
You got a lot of stuff going on. A second bite at the apple, anybody? No, good. All right. Thank you, everybody. So when
Motion
you
to
shut,
adjourn.
thank you, just shut that off and I'll explain what happened at the front door.
Second.
So that everybody.
Except now it's on the thing saying, well, what was that? People said, check it.